I don't know why you were just, this is a therapy session, I'm bearing it all. This is like more information than anybody ever wanted.
The new song, the new video is out now. It's called So Good.
Yes.
How are you feeling now that it's out in the universe?
I'm actually feeling great. I'm doing my best not to say I feel so good. I feel so good. I'm really happy. I think I have like a tumultuous relationship with my job sometimes.
Why?
Just dive right in. I'm like, let's get serious. No, but you know, I just think that like, I was actually just texting my agent and I was like, because I was, this was very much the kind of thing that happened naturally. Like I found Cupid through actually something he did with Laura Harrier for V Magazine, and I saw that and I was like, oh, how did they do that? And then I was like, you know, incredible visuals done by Cupid's Fault, and I messaged him and I was like, I'm obsessed with you. Can you come and do something with me? And then at the same time, I texted my label. I was like, I'm obsessed with this guy. Can we find a way to work with him? And then it just like evolved from there, and it became something really like organic and natural, which is something that's so nice about music, is it can really be like motivated by the artist.
Yeah.
And Cupid is just so talented, and the whole team that made the video happen is so talented, and it's so cool to be like, this is me. It's like the same thing as like posting like a diary entry or something. It's much more creative than some other stuff that we usually do.
Because it sounds like you're in a really so good spot in life right now.
You know, I am in a good place right now. It's difficult, isn't it? I mean, I think like as any human alive in the world, and especially as like, I know, you know, anybody in the industry I think is usually like a sensitive. I mean, everybody's, I would say to some degree sensitive, but I think like as artists we're especially, can be more sensitive. So my phases of, you know, being good and being bad are very ebb and flow. Like I can be like absolutely stable, phenomenal, wonderful for like weeks and be like, wow, this is it, I'm tapped in, this is who I am, and then just like drop. And it can happen with no warning. And you know, I think that's what life looks like these days. I think that's also just like how I'm wired. But I would say overall right now I am really good, and I think that a lot of that has to do with music and sort of stepping into my own as a creative, and stepping into my own as somebody who calls shots. And as well, I think you call a shot or two, and then people say, then it works out, and then you go, oh, that really worked out, I'm gonna do that again. And then you just kind of build this relationship of like trust with yourself, and then you become more creative, and it really like feeds into developing you as a person, I would say.
I'm feeling so good right now.
Did Thomas at all inspire So Good? Because there's a part of the beginning where it sounds like maybe he did.
You know what? He didn't.
He didn't?
Thomas has nothing to do with So Good, and if you listen, it's more of a celebration of an end of a relationship.
Okay, and this is the ex maybe that we're...
You know, we all have exes.
Yeah, okay, that's
This
fair.
is a relatable subject. I mean, I do love the lyric, maybe I just woke up on the right side of my empty bed.
Maybe I just woke up on the right side of my empty bed.
Or I'm not sad when I'm watching him leave.
Right.
You know, because I've said very publicly, I do not like a breakup song. My last single, one of my last singles, Bloodshot, I think was everybody commonly kind of thought it was a breakup song when it was much more of a song about loss, which is a common theme in my life and the lives around me. And if you listen to it through that lens, I think it's much more clear that that's what it's about. But So Good is also not a breakup song. It's a song about a girl who is turning a page, and who's not sad about it. And I've definitely been there when it was a good thing that something ended. Everybody gets at least one.
Yeah. I want to play you a clip really fast.
Okay.
You guys are obviously very young, but is she the one? Like, do you talk about that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wait, you're lighting up so much, you're smiling so much, it's adorable.
Oh no, of course. I mean, she is just the most incredible person I've ever met. Like, she's so... I mean, I think people see her as so talented because obviously that's her job, to perform and to all the rest of it. But she's the most compassionate and most patient and most like genuine, loving person I've ever met, and so kind and so generous. Like, she's just amazing.
How does that feel to watch that?
You know what's funny? I
Are you
won't.
teary-eyed?
Yeah. I'm just super emotional and embarrassing. But like I cry every day. I cry every day when I'm with him because he's just so. I
want to like hold your hand for a second.
This is so stupid because like you have like him being sappy, now I'm being sappy, and it's just like embarrassing. He's such a. I mean, like I felt this way when I met him. He's just like the most pure, loving, selfless, generous, kind. Like his life is about the people that he loves, and I feel so lucky to be loved by somebody like that. You know, because I think I told him like the first couple months we were dating, I was like I had this big breakdown. I don't know why you were just, this is a therapy session, I'm bearing it all. This is like more information than anybody ever wanted. But
I love all this. This is
I had a breakdown. I visited him in London, I think, for the first time when we were dating, but we weren't officially boyfriend and girlfriend, we were just dating. And I like randomly, I mean, this is the story of my life, but I was like in a great mood, and then like we made eye contact and I burst into tears, and he was like, what is going on with you? And I was like, I just don't think I ever thought that I would have the privilege to be so like seen by somebody. Like I always this is stupid. I always told my mom when I was little, like, I think I'm gonna be like alone for like my life, because I never thought that anybody would quite understand me, or like I knew I could be, people read me wrong even when I was little. And so meeting Thomas and having him just like understand me from the get-go, it was like we met and it was like, oh, there you are. And so, you know, I just feel lucky. And I know that we're 3 years in, but like it just feels so, it feels like this every day, you know?
Yeah. People strive to have that kind of relationship, so.
It feels very lucky.
Yeah.
It feels very, I mean, like, you know, we also have to work at it. Long distance is hard. We're constantly, I mean, we're not always together. We do make it work. Like we fly out to see each other and stuff like that all the time, even just for like a few days. But I think it really just comes down to the fact that we're like givers. Both of us are the giver in the relationship, which usually there's a giver and a taker. Mm-hmm. And I think because we're both givers to our other half, and we're also best friends, it just happens to be the most like healthy, you know, wonderful, not, because, you know, we've all been there. We've all been in relationships that were not healthy and that like took from us, and it just feels like we both overflow for each other in terms of like relationship energy, and that's lucky.
You agree with him that he's the one?
Oh yeah, he's the one.
Is an engagement happening?
I mean, listen, I go back and forth on like whether or not that's like even a thing I want to do, but like I think, yeah, I definitely think, you know, if I'm gonna marry anyone, it's gonna be him. So.
Yeah. You mentioned the ebbs and the flows of this industry. What sort of things trigger you to be up here and then maybe to sort of crash and go a little bit?
Oh, if I knew that, I would have a lot more worked out than I do. I mean, things that trigger like highs in me are usually, it's hard to say, because sometimes it's almost always accidental, because if I knew how to work myself that well, I think I would probably try to stay there more. But I would say like things that trigger highs are like self-care.
Yeah.
You know, quiet time. Definitely social media makes me so anxious because I have really bad anxiety.
Really?
And so, terrible anxiety.
I'm surprised by that for some reason.
Unbelievable anxiety. But I think that I've just learned to, I don't know, I think when you have anxiety and then you're in situations where you have to power through, like you gotta go on camera right now, or like, you know, you have to get up on a stage right now, I think for better or for worse, I've learned to kind of make it disappear. I still feel it, but you maybe don't see it.
Right.
But I would say that things that trigger highs for me, like stability, would be stability, like routine, time away from my phone, and like simple health things. Like as I get older, I realize like I need to sleep, I need to drink water, I need to be good to myself. I used to be really, I think, like not take myself seriously as like a mammal, you know? I'd be like, I'm just gonna power through. I'm gonna have like 9 venties and I'm not gonna sleep and I'll just make it work. And I didn't really take my health seriously, but I do now, and that helps. And like little things, like sometimes if I'm not good, I'll like go out and get a tattoo, which is not something I would recommend.
How many tattoos do you have now?
I have 9, I think.
You have 9, okay.
But Thomas and I were supposed to get our 10th today.
Together? Like a matching?
Not matching. We have a matching one. My second My third tattoo I ever got is a matching tattoo with Thomas.
Oh, that's cute. What is it?
It's a sun. It's this little sun I have on my finger. I'm like trying to like get in the zoomy.
Yeah.
And he has a massive one on his knee. And we got it like at a terrible, like it was like we'd met like a month before that or something, or 2 weeks. I don't remember the timeline of it, but it was like we weren't dating yet.
And you just decided, let's get permanent ink on
yeah,
us.
but you know what? Like,
when
I
you know,
feel
you
like-
know, yeah.
And it wasn't even so much that. It was more like we're both such emotional people and such like, you know, spontaneous people, and we were falling in love, and it was like, even if this goes totally south, you know, like,
Yeah.
F it, like,
Yeah.
let's just do it.
Yeah.
So we did, and it's romantic.
I love that.
Pop the champagne. I'm feeling elevated, feeling motivated.
I have to know, going back to the video, how long did the process take to get all the florals and flowers and all that on you?
You know what? It's not. I wouldn't say more than like a normal makeup change would take. I was wearing basically no makeup. Like I think Cupid put like some foundation, like a little bit of like spongy, and then you could see like a tiny bit of mascara, but no falsies, no. There was maybe like red eyeshadow at one point for one look, but that was it.
Wow.
A little bit of eyeshadow on the lip, but like
Kind of bit,
took like
yeah.
8 minutes for him, I think, where I usually take like, this was like 2 hours. But it was nice because, first of all, it's just so incredible to watch him work, because what he does is he gets bouquets from like I think a grocery store.
Oh.
And he just showed up with like maybe 2 bouquets, and he just cuts them and then starts to frame the face in really creative ways. And it was nice for me as well, because I have a bit of like, because I am so anxious, I have a bit of a fear of like being vulnerable in the industry. Like I get very like I need to put up some kind of wall, some kind of barrier, because it can feel very invasive. Sometimes, just, you know, that's kind of the nature of it. It's
And
nothing.
people don't realize that.
No.
They think that you must have it all together. What is your message to your young fans who think that you have it all, you do it all, you don't struggle with anything?
Wow, that's difficult to answer, because if I was to say a message, I would want to say something inspirational and informative, and like, you know, if I was to give a message to young fans, I wouldn't want it to be like, I struggle. You know what I mean? Like I would want it to be something that would help them. But I mean, I don't know. I am in the camp of believing that mental health, I think the best way that I can be a mental health advocate so far.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that I couldn't get better about it or I couldn't learn more. But it's just to be honest about where I'm at with my own mental health, which is ever changing and always evolving. And I mean, I guess if I was to give a message, it's that I think it would be helpful to remember that there is nobody in the world that ever has it all together, no matter how much they look like they do. I guess I get surprised by how often people think I have it all together, because I consider myself to be someone who's really open about what I struggle with, what my life looks like. But, you know, I also do know that, like, social media is fleeting. You see one thing, you see another thing, and then you see one post about, like, I talk about my dad, and then it'll be like 9 posts of like really glossy selfies, and then you forget, you know, you forget that people are human, and it's not just me. I don't know almost anybody that is like, I'm great, I have it all together. But I can understand why it might feel like that and look like that, and whatever you feel, I can guarantee you there are so many other people who feel that exact same thing, and we all need to remember that kindness, like, I know that it's so, like, everybody's like, be nice, you know, like, we hear it every day and we're like, okay, but it's so important, especially now. We were just talking before we started filming that, like, the kind of, like, the need to bring others down has become so prevalent, and it will never ever help you feel better. There's, what is that saying where it's like, I'm not going to get this right and people are going to get mad at me, but there's like, while you're waiting for the right moment to throw a hot coal, you burn your own hand.
That sounded good to me.
It's not that, but any kind of like negative something you feel is actually not a reflection of the person that you feel it towards, it's a reflection of you. And so I would recommend like looking inward at why you feel that way, and that's more of a marker to pay attention to yourself and what you're dealing with than maybe what the other person is triggering in you.
Right.
Which isn't to say that it's okay to like unknowingly trigger other people. It's just that you know, it might be more worth your time to look inside yourself to realize what's happening rather than focusing on what that person's doing. And I mean, I definitely struggle with the whole gambit of it. So it's nice to remember that no matter how perfect somebody's life looks, that's not what it looks like.
We're all human at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
You've been talking about prioritizing music for a very long time.
Yeah.
Is there an album on the way?
You know what, that's so funny. I feel like I can answer every question about music except for that one because I don't know. I mean, I have enough songs at this point that I could do an album, but it's interesting, the way that people consume music these days isn't really album-centric. And that's what's so interesting to me because my fans are always saying, like, where's the album? Where's the album? And while I'm sure that, like, if I was a fan of somebody, I would buy their album, but, like, in terms of people who aren't my fans, I don't think that an album is the smartest choice. I don't think that it's the way that people are buying these days, streaming. I think that what is sort of more current and the way that I consume music is singles videos. So I think that's kind of the current plan, but that's not to say that there is no album in the works. I have so many songs that I love that I've done that are like ready to go. They don't have videos yet, and when they do, I'm sure that I'll be putting them out really consistently. But I just got out of the studio. I recorded like 6 new songs, so like, I don't know. I mean, it's really interesting. I always thought music was really planned, and it's very spur of the moment. So I'll keep you posted. I mean, it's just kind of like it's a do as you go kind of thing.
But you think a next single is coming sooner rather than later? Once the video gets done.
Oh yeah. I have like content on content on content.
Wow. Okay, we need to drop this.
I know.
Are you someone who's constantly writing? Like, I know that you wrote this song with Julia and Justin Tranter, which they're an amazing duo.
I know.
Are you always writing? Are you always looking for inspiration?
Yeah, I mean, I think that my mom's a writer, and I have always written poetry and songs and things like that. And I'm always writing. Like, I post a lot of like journal entries, or like like I'll think about a topic and I'll expand on it and do like mini essays and things like that. I used to do that more, but I'm always thinking. I'm a communicator by nature, and so I get like little tidbits of like, it's interesting. I'm not like a melody person. This is my one thing as a writer where I don't get melodies in my head. And I think it's because I am so auditory that if I get a melody in my head, it's something that already exists. And so I'm much more of a lyricist.
Which lyrics are the best part of a song to me.
Really?
I think so.
I totally think they've got to be right together.
Yeah.
But I always get little like snapshots or tidbits or like ideas or something will like float into my brain, and I'm like, that's a great lyric, or that's a great concept or title or something like that. So yeah.
What does this mean for acting? Like, are you 100% focused on singing and music right now?
No, I actually just got a phone call 2 nights ago that my next movie is moving forward.
Is it Wicked?
No, it's not Wicked. That'd be amazing. No, I can't say too much about it right now, but I'm really happy about it because I've mostly been doing. I like my dream is that I constantly switch back and forth between like movies, TV, music, and stage. And if I ever do something repetitively for too long, I get like really itchy.
Okay.
So I'm really ready for this new era of like film and music. Those 2 things for me go together really well.
Will it be in the Disney family or something a little different?
You know, there are 2, and one is not really one is more in the Disney family than the other, but it's not a Disney Channel venture.
Okay. Disney Plus?
I can't say. Okay. I can't say. But the other one is, sorry, I wish I could say. But the other one is no, it's very far from anything in the Disney family.
Yeah. Is it kind of nice to sort of explore like a more mature path?
You know, it's so funny. It's this like last couple months has been so focused on like me leaving Disney and graduating and what's going to happen, and like kind of like a subtext of like, when am I going to lose my mind? And I just feel nothing about that.
Anybody wanna be like us? Everybody wanna be like us.
Like, I feel it was such a wonderful time in my life when I was on Disney, and it's been such an easy transition, and Disney really has been so like nurturing that I never felt that kind of like I was in a pressure box. Like I was never like, get me out. And so when it ended, it was much more like, wow, I never realized how much I keep saying this, and I keep looking for a better way to say it, but it's like when you leave your parents' house to go to college. It's like I didn't realize how much of me and what I was doing and putting out there was affected by where I was, because it just felt so natural and normal, and I didn't really think about it.
Yeah.
And now I feel really like naturally stepping into this new era for myself, and I also feel really like supported by the people around me. It's very much like no one's like, what are you doing? Like, stop, getting tattoos and stop swearing in your songs. It's very like, it just seems like a natural transition. And so I don't really feel a pressure to change that, or like I'm like looking for more mature roles or substance or like anything like that. I just feel like it's naturally happening.
Sure.
Yeah, so it feels good, but it felt good then too, I feel at peace.
Is there a dream role for you that you would love to play?
Aside from Wicked, well, Galinda was always my dream growing up. And so I'm very pleased that it hasn't happened yet, because I feel like I'm like at the right age now.
I think it's gonna happen soon, because I talked to Kristen Chenoweth, and she really wants you and Ariana Grande together in that movie.
I think that would be the dream.
Yeah. Have you and Ari talked about it? Yes.
I think that it's much less official than it sounds. Like, I think that, it's not official at all, but I just mean, I think that we're, if Ari and I have talked about it, it's just more, on, a girlish...
Like, you would love to do it.
Yeah, we're friends, so it's, it's more oh, wouldn't that be so cool? Did you see Kristen posted? It's that kind of thing. It's not meet you on Wednesday, it's nothing like that. And I don't have anything to do with the movie at all. I just feel very lucky to be part of the conversation.
I feel like the Dove empire is expanding. You have the new sunglass line.
Yeah,
how'd that come about?
That was actually something that came about totally randomly. They contacted me and they said, would you be interested in designing a capsule collection? And my parents were designers. They were jewelry designers. And so I was always on the design room floor when they would sketch things and then they would get it back, and I would see things come from paper to reality, and that was always something really interesting to me. I thought when I was younger I wanted to design clothing because of that. But I've always had an eye for, not like an eye like a talent, but I've always had an obsession with design, and I usually look at things that other people have designed, and this is terrible, I don't mean this critically, I just if I were to wear this, I wish it was more like this, I think it would be better if it was like that. I just have always found myself to be someone that had a lot of opinions about clothing and about styling, and I'm a big sunglasses fan, and so I was excited.
Yeah.
I was geeky and excited about it to see what was going to happen, but I was scared that they were going to design them for me and just put my name on it.
But you got to be involved?
Oh, no, I did everything. It was absolutely amazing.
Were you sketching?
No.
Okay.
No, because my sketching would literally look, I'd be circle, circle, sunglasses. I can't draw to save my life.
Same.
But I would grab sample frames, and then I'd be I want it this shape, I want it this color, and they would send me samples back, and I would make such control freaky notes. I'd be 1 centimeter wider, the bridge is too close, I need it to be lighter this. I was so control freaky.
That's so funny.
But then it ends up being exactly what you want. That's so fun.
Yeah. Is there a world where there's a clothing line?
Maybe one day. I just wouldn't want to do something where I only took 20% part in, and that's why I'm really one of those people that unless I can do it all the way, I don't want to do it at all. And I think that's part of my anxiety. So I'm I love to do things when I'm not ready all the time, and then I'm I hate this, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
But I think I definitely, if I was to do it, I'd have to be this is done, everybody go away, house lockdown, I'm doing this 100%. And I don't know if I have that time right now.
Sure.
But one day in my life, that'd be such a fun thing,
Yeah.
I think.
Well, your red carpet looks lately have been so on point.
Thank you.
How involved are you in picking out what you're gonna wear?
Well, you know what? I have this incredible stylist, Mimi Cottrell. Shout out to Mimi, who is super talented, and she definitely, I think she's really good at whatever her client is at the moment, reading them and then elevating them. And so, she picks things, but then you as the client, you step in and you it comes down to you eventually, at the very end. So yeah, I'm very involved as well. We have a text chain that I'm always screenshot, I love this, next week I want to wear this, or this actually I just styled myself, but usually she styles all the carpet looks. And
Yeah.
I think that she's Yeah, it's definitely feels like a new era for me.
I love that.
Yeah, it's fun.
We're gonna wrap up, so will you
Okay.
tell fans where they can watch the video, where they can stream the song?
Yeah, you can you can stream or purchase the song on any and all music platforms. And my video for So Good is available on my Vivo channel, and it's also in the link in my bio on my Instagram. I think if you just go to my Instagram and my Twitter, pretty easy to find. And also check out my new Capsule collection with Privé Revaux.